Good morning, it's your daily dose of complete health with your local chiropractor, Patrick Hogg. And I wanted to just share an experience I was having in the supermarket again yesterday. And I love this, I see this all the time. And for me, I'm super aware of it, but occasionally I still get caught and attracted by it, which is all the health foods that you see in the supermarkets nowadays. It's all the health foods that you see in the supermarkets. Now, interestingly enough, when you pick up the packets for a lot of supposedly, and I use the word supposedly, health food products in the supermarket, you'll quite often read the labels and start to realize that actually those things that initially appeared very healthy quite often are not. Now let me explain why. Now the majority of people will be aware of a lot of the products that are in the supermarket. So one of my favorites is low-fat yogurts. Low-fat yogurts. Now when you read the back of a packet of a low-fat yogurt, you'll almost definitely be surprised by the amount of sugar that is added to that product. And if it doesn't have sugar, you can almost guarantee that they've added some sort of artificial chemical or sweetener to that food to make it taste good. So here are some of the examples of some of the things that I see in the supermarket. We only have X calories in our blah. Low fat, low sugar, whole foods ingredients, etc., etc., etc. And you'll see these almost all around the supermarket. Now, when you actually look at them, and I've seen this with health bars, like the fruit and nut bars, you'll go and actually read the back of the packet and they'll say all natural ingredients. You read the back of the packet and they use brown rice syrup. Now, I don't know whether I'm wrong, but rice is rice and it's not syrup. So that food, almost all of those foods, one thing we have to be aware of, the reason why I make a face like that, is that one thing we have to be aware of is all these foods have to go through a hyper-processing in order to be made into the food that they're producing, which means that we're taking away from the whole food and ingredients. And as a result, by processing that food, we are taking away some of the benefits of that thing. And by taking away fat and adding sugar, are we actually making it any healthier? Or are we just changing the problem? So rather than having too many calories, now all of a sudden, we've got too much sugar. And rather than having too much of X, we now get too much of Y. So really be careful when you go into a supermarket and you get caught up by these health foods, then actually if anything's coming in a packet and it's labeled as health food, make sure you always read the ingredients, because when you check it, there may well be things in there that you do not recognize. And if you do not recognize some of the ingredients in the packaging, the likelihood is it's probably not made for human consumption. When you do not recognize any of the ingredients on the packaging, you're probably not going to really need to actually eat that thing. So like I say, be aware when you go into supermarkets and you see health foods, they're not always as healthy as what you think they are. And probably one of the easiest things to do is not buy stuff for your health in health packaging. If you're going to buy health foods, interesting enough, what I found is you can normally do 90% of your shopping in the first 3 aisles, which is your fresh fruit and veg, your meat and dairy produce. That's it. If you can do 90% of your shopping in those first 3 aisles, when you actually then look at supermarkets, the remaining like 15 to 20 aisles are almost always hyper-processed, tinned, blah, blah, blah type foods, breads, cakes, biscuits, what have you. All of the stuff that actually, interestingly enough, that supermarkets make their maximum profits off of because they can sit on the shelf for a lot longer. So those first 3 aisles, interestingly enough,
are the foods that have the highest nutrient content. So if you can do most of your shopping there, that's realistically where you're going to get the biggest benefit. Patrick here from Complete Health. We'll speak to you here tomorrow. Take care for now.